What is up, guys? Doing another Iron Man stealth, aka ICTV, saws only, no assets, only one stealth deployable, no silent throwable, so on and so forth. This time I'm hitting First World Bank. This map was a little bit different in terms of strategy I needed to use in order to tackle it. Definitely needed to take out the cameras because it was just so difficult to move around upstairs with the cameras on to kind of hit any of the objectives that I needed to hit. So pretty much all my pagers get tied up in this video because I almost out of necessity have to take out the camera guy up front and then the three guys in the back. Not absolutely necessary, but definitely turned this run from being an absolute headache to a pretty manageable stealth, even in, you know, with the Iron Man stealth constrictions on it.
Alright, they're blind in the front and upstairs. Good work. Only a few in the vault area left.
Wait a minute. No, hang on. No fire. I'm just hallucinating because I'm so fucking bored.
So now that the cameras are down, I can finally charge forth, try to find the manager, and
Watch out. There's a guard.
get the power boxes so that I can go ahead and get that objective done. However, I did see the manager on this balcony as I was coming into the bank. I always check that spot up top as soon as I walk in to see if he spawned up here, and in fact he did. So
Down on the fucking ground. Get down, asshole.
That hostage will definitely make them have to regroup. Buys you more time. Now use the keycard to get inside the server room. It's on the second floor.
just kind of carefully crouching along here just to be sure that no guards are going to pop around the corner and see me.
That's right. Open up for me,
Remember the
baby.
metal detectors. Best way, simply kill the power. There are electricity boxes around.
So now there should only be one other power box remaining. I'm going to go ahead and try to find that and
Look out.
get that one picked and finished. Thankfully, with the cameras down, I only have to worry about the handful of roaming guards up top, which can cause a little bit of grief if you're not careful, but nothing being careful and crouching around can't fix. I didn't see the power box down in that hallway, so I decided to go ahead and scoot down this way.
There's a camera there.
You can see my mouse moving around in this part. I think I was messaging somebody.
Look, there's a camera.
That happens a lot when I'm doing these stealth runs. Definitely sections where I have to just sit still and not do anything for a while. I was waiting on the other guard, the one who was walking down this manager corridor earlier, that one if I'm not mistaken, to either come back down this way or to move from his position where I assumed that the other power box was going to be at, which he just kept walking back and forth this corridor once or twice. A bit of a headache, but nothing a little bit of patience can't solve.
It's secured.
We need to deal with the metal detectors. Best way, simply kill the power. There are electricity boxes around.
This map in general is usually a pretty straightforward map. Never anything too terribly difficult. Most of the area, or the back area, or the actual vault is actually more or less a control map. I thought he was on the other side of the wall, that's why I just started to charge out. But the front part is some pretty standard, straightforward stealth. The back part's kind of like a pseudo control map. Coming back out isn't difficult in any sense of the means. It can just be a little difficult to try to work around the civilians on the way to the staircase, so you can go down into the basement and actually move the bags. So.
Can you hear me? The gates require a key code. Can't use mine or I'm dead, so you need to find a 4-digit code.
This section is also definitely a pain whenever the cameras are up. It can be hard to get to certain
Hey, I get it done.
computers without a camera seeing you, and in certain spawns it becomes excruciatingly difficult to try to loop a camera without a guard passing through and seeing you while the camera's looped. So getting everything to work ever so perfectly like that can just be kind of aggravating. And so, like I said, generally that's what urged me to just go ahead and, you know, kill off the camera guy, even though it meant I was gonna pretty much have to use all my pagers in this heist and didn't have any cushion for myself in case I got detected. But for the most part, if the cameras were down, I really didn't have to worry about just being randomly detected by anybody, so long as I was careful looking around my corners and so forth.
Alright, let's see what we got. Christ, a lot of office gossip, but no codes. Next.
There's a camera there. Come on, you can run faster. Okay, we got it secured.
Had to make sure no guards were pathing around through here while I was walking out to these computers. Usually one will come out from the lobby and then walk in front of the offices and then stroll back through into the lobby, so I was just being sure that I didn't have to deal with him at all.
Now what will we find?
Watch out.
There he
There's
is.
a guard.
Credit applications. Accepted. No codes though. Next one.
So now I had to wait for him to move before I could go and check the last computer on this side, which, if I'm not mistaken, I was quite fortunate since that was the one with the code on it. I didn't have to stroll over to the other side, which would have only marginally increased my chances of getting detected, particularly since I don't believe any civilians spawned over there on this particular run. If they would have, it would have caused some minor headaches, but nothing that would be unmanageable, particularly with the cameras down.
Might be the one.
He's a guard.
Here's the code. 1138. Okay, now we can meet with the insider. Get to the gates.
Coming from floor 2, heading to the gates. See you there.
In this part, I'm just waiting for her to go ahead and get down to the vault area. It usually takes her just a few seconds to do that, and I just wanted to go ahead and let her do that and let the guards take up some positions somewhere else so that I could go ahead and more easily prepare for them and not run into any of them as I was making my way up or rounding around some corners. Definitely wanted to try to minimize that as much as possible since I was trying to work pretty hard to save pagers. Also needed to wait for this guy to
There's a guard.
mosey on out back to the lobby.
Get over to the gates. Let's get this done.
It's a guard. Guard.
Of course, as soon as I get up the set of stairs and I think I'm home free, then another guard
Look out.
comes down my
Guard.
way. If I would have standard detection, like below 10, or, you know, just anything that wasn't 75, hardly, I would have risked running behind the guard and into the balcony where it's safe. However, due to me having 75 detection, his radius of being able to see me from behind, I was worried would be a little increased,
He's a guard.
and he'd be able to spot me relatively quickly, or if his head turned and he looked my direction. So I decided to play it safe. However, that did give me ample time to have a nice throwback to the Cyclone Tree
He's a guard.
from my no-skills run. My no-skills stealth run of this map from ages ago. Gosh, I haven't done a no-skills stealth run
It's
forever.
secured.
I might need to bring those back. Cyclone trees are one of my favorite parts of this heist, just pushing them around. It's stupid, but I love it. That guard was having a little bit of fun with the tree as well, as you could see him kicking it around. Of course, since the guard's down in front of the vault, some of them path into the lobby and some of them path up top into the corridors. You do have to take an extra level of precaution. You know, that guard standing over by the meeting room would be able to see me if I went over to the railings, and even if I jumped over, I'm pretty sure he would still
There's a guard.
be able to see me from, yeah, even crouching, he can see me from that distance,
Secure the
so
camera.
definitely wouldn't be able to vault over
Look
the
out. Guard.
side of the railing without him seeing me. So I was continuously checking in front, to my sides, and behind me, so I could be sure that there weren't any guards around me, though. And as soon as this guy cleared the way, I just decided to go ahead and jump on down. Quickly checked the downstairs area before I fell down. I didn't see anybody and felt that the coast was clear enough. So thankfully you can hide behind the metal detector cell. This guy was kind of a butt, though, because he waltzed right over here just as the door is opening, and I have to wait for him to leave before he can even walk back into the vault. So I had a lot of kind of crappy pathing on this run, because every time I got to a part I had to wait on the guard to move and really didn't have any freedom of movement, but it ended up working out fairly well. I could have risked running back in there, but I was pretty certain he was going to see me before I could throw myself behind the lip of a wall. Just, you know, taking into consideration how fast you get detected with this high of a detection level. So. Finally turned around, though, and I was able to make my way in. There was no purpose in running through those offices. I just did it for no reason. I could have just ran through the hallway. Had civilian spawn right there, which not that big of a deal, but had to be kind of wary of camera placement back here until you tie down the civilian camera watcher. Thankfully, it's not another guard, and this is just a civilian. Checking for key cards up here very quickly. There weren't any on the front desk so far as I could tell, so I decided to proceed back. Had to be kind of careful of the roaming guards back here. As I said earlier, there are 3, and I will be taking out all of them when I get the ample chance to. Thankfully, all the guards started heading towards the elevators, so I was able to go back through here and hurriedly tie this gentleman down.
Down! Get down, asshole! Hey, I found the key card.
Since the card wasn't on the front table, it had to be here on this table, so I decided to go ahead and grab it and pop open the vault before any of the guards came back in.
Open that goddamn thing!
Or hopefully before any of the guards came in.
You fuck with me, you're fucking with the best! Okay, let's clear it out.
And neatly stacked. Well, don't be shy, Gay. Go get it.
Yeah, that's right. Don't fuck with Tony Montana.
So, I believe I'm going to speed up this portion of the video, since I will be moving bags to the vent. However, I will... Oh, no, wait, I gotta take out the guards. Never mind, I'm not speeding up this part. I forgot about that.
Let's get the fuck
Once
out
I
of
actually
here.
start moving the bags into the vent, then I'll go ahead and speed that small portion of the video up. So I was being careful where I placed the bags, because clearly I didn't want the guards to see it. I did have to take out 3 of them, and in the off chance that I didn't want to start a reaction chain where I took out one guard and then another guard saw me take out that guard, and then the third guard saw that guy, or also saw me take out the initial guard. I didn't want to deal with anything like that. So I meleeed this guy over to the left so his head would fall to the left of the pillar. However, it didn't happen quite like I wanted to, and he fell backwards instead, which is alright, because the other guard didn't seem to care whatsoever, and I was able to go ahead and get his pager answered and get his body bag before anybody noticed anything. So now I only had 2 guards left to deal with. Almost got detected by that guy. Thankfully I didn't. It wouldn't have really mattered. I could have just shouted him down, ran up there and answered his pager. However, I was trying to pick my spots a little carefully. I did want to go ahead and try to get these guys taken out, though. I just needed to wait for more opportune moments, so I decided to just move some money bags in the meantime. Let's go ahead and place them to the side of the door, as you see, so that I can grab them and start doing the bag leapfrogging.
Careful, there's a guard.
I would have went ahead and taken this guy out, except I wanted to try to get eyes on the second guard so I would know his position. Didn't want to
Watch out, there's a
stupidly rush it and just end up getting get myself caught in a position where I was in the middle of answering a pager and then the other guard would end up seeing me. I believe that guard was seeing the tied down civilian. Maybe he had somehow got a glimpse of a money bag. I'm not 100% sure. It's probable that it could have been one of the money bags. Some of them were sticking pretty far out. But
Careful.
it also could have been the civilian I tied down in the back. Since that guard looked like he was going to the front, I decided to take this opportunity to get the guy in the back.
Hands in the air, fucker! There's nothing happening here. I should go home.
And now it's a breeze. I just got to get the guy up front, tie down those two civs, and then I can move the money bags and we can leave happy. Or we can proceed to the next part, happy anyway. Decided to go ahead and tie down the civs while the guard wasn't looking, just so I didn't have to worry about them seeing me in case I was answering the pager in front of them or something.
Put him up.
Just don't shoot.
Hey, Control. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah, I know. It's driving me crazy.
I've never heard that pager line until this size. I don't know how I hadn't heard it. I just hadn't heard that pager line yet. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up this little section, and I'll catch you guys in just a minute. This is where things got a little interesting. So as I'm sure you noticed in my title, I put stealth in quotation marks, and this happened. Yeah, I wasn't happy. I just wasn't ready for him to be there. I thought the coast was going to be clear. I was getting ready to slowly poke my head out, and as I started to position myself, I noticed that guy there. So what did I do in the meantime? Well, I decided to, and since I'm already ejected, let's go ahead and open up these deposit boxes, because I gotta wait for what's-her-face to slowly mosey her way upstairs anyway, right? So since I'm in no hurry and she's gonna take her dear sweet time, I just decided to go ahead and pop open these outside ATMs. Go ahead and keep myself covered with the ECM jammers. So, did this technically end in stealth? As I'm sure you can guess, no. That's why I did it in quotation marks. However, what I did do was, I mean, I still completed it. I still got all the loot, still used no assets, you know, saws only the whole 9 yards. So, I mean, in my mind, you know, I completed it. They just didn't finish in stealth necessarily. That's quite alright. And as she was opening the door, she actually managed to get it open before the alarm went off, which was, I was pretty happy about that. I didn't have to blow open the wall with C4 or anything like that, waste a bit of my time. So normally I'd either try to sneak through that room or kill those Sis or tie some of them down or whatever. However, I really didn't have to worry about it because I just had to run past them all since it was loud at this point. So, yeah, I was a little bit bummed that it didn't, you know, 100% end in stealth, but at the same time, I knew I was going to have plenty of time to move these bags before the assault actually started and before I was in trouble. So, I wasn't too terribly worried about it. again, it was just a bit of a bummer to have it not end in stealth, and I considered just restarting and trying to do another run or whatever,
Until police arrive.
because it's not like it was a particularly hard challenge by any stretch of the imagination. However, I thought it was funny that I had gone so long and been so careful throughout the heist, and then got detected right there. So I felt like, for the entertainment purpose, it was worthwhile in keeping this run. So, yeah. I can't get over how silly that was. It's such an easy thing to not do, to just not poke my head out, but I just wasn't really thinking, because I was like, oh, I got this in the bag now. All I have to do is, you know, follow this lady upstairs. She'll open the door. I'll go downstairs. Everything will be hunky-dory. I don't have to worry about it. Run was in the bag, and then, you know, this happened. Seems like every time I try to stealth this heist, this ends up happening, because I always get lackadaisical towards the end. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty much done now. I got this. And it's probably because I know I can do this at the end, even if it goes loud. So.
Let's get the fuck out.
But that's alright. The run got completed. I still managed to get all the bags. Even got some extra loot in terms of the outside ATMs. There were probably a handful of money bundles I missed on the map, but nothing too major. Alright. So that was my first World Bank Iron Man stealth challenge. And as usual, thank you guys so much for watching.